This next ad comes to you from a company that's cooking the best omelets you'll have all year, all while changing the world one egg at a time. It's called Just Egg, and I'm happy to tell you about it because Just Egg is a cholesterol-free, plant-based egg that will give you the most decadent quiches of your life, the fluffiest scrambles, and the easiest egg sandwiches. Or in my case in particular, I love a good Just Egg scramble in the morning on an English muffin, a little bit of cheese and beautiful barbecue sauce. I think it's fantastic and it tastes great. And Just Egg has about the same protein as a chicken egg, but with much less saturated fat. Plus, Just Egg is packed with cholesterol-lowering polyunsaturated fat. Chicken eggs have severe FOMO when they look at Just Egg, and that's really the important part for me. In order for Just Egg to be successful, I think it really needs to make sure that it tastes good and is good for you, and I can happily say it ticks both of those boxes. As someone who loves eating eggs every morning, I've had to cut it back in recent years, basically because of health concerns. There's a lot of cholesterol in regular eggs, but I'm excited to have found an alternative that is good for me and good for the environment. In 2022, may your eggs be filled with Just Egg. Just Egg, really good eggs.
Beans on toast. Beans on toast. I'm a madman, I have beans with a roast. I'm a bad man, I send beans in the post. Beans in my coke, beans on the pizza. Beans in the fridge, beans in the freezer. Beans by the ton, beans by the litre. Bean, who got the keys to my beaner? See baked beans when I peel a banana while I'm sipping on a bean colada. Spread the beans, connect the beans, inject the beans. We accepting beans, condom flavour, extra beans. I'm obsessed with beans if you see what I mean. Went Chicago, I've been to the bean.
Good morning, sweet beans, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Wednesday, March 16th. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory. Alongside me, as always, we got Tass Mellis.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Tass? We got our top shot hot boy, ripping them lips, Trey Kirby.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. International man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friend.
Finally making the magic happen, over yonder, super producer, JD.
Hello.
There he is. And here we are. Shout out to the stream team joining us live right now on YouTube. Take a second, like the video. Make sure you subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube. Share the show. Comment away. Email in your NBA questions to nodunks@theathletic.com. We're hitting the beach today. We talked it into existence yesterday. Yeah, we're going to answer a few of your NBA questions a little bit later in the show, but keep them coming. nodunks@theathletic.com or tweet them in at NoDunksInc. And check out yesterday's YouTube exclusive. The No Dunks crew, noted college hoops junkies, experts really, filling out collectively our men's March Madness bracket. A lot of fun. Somehow this took an hour to do, which I don't know if I'm impressed that it only took us an hour or that it was an hour long, just to obviously fill out a bracket where we have no clue who's going to win any of these games. But we had some larfs, and we encourage you to watch that video on YouTube. If you're just listening to the podcast, make sure you jump over to No Dunks on YouTube. And make sure you jump into our official group battle, March Madness bracket battle off, as they definitely don't say.
The whole battle off.
What do you say? What do you call it? Just it's a
challenge.
Group.
I feel like challenge comes up all the time.
That's the word I was looking for. It's a challenge. We have the link in the show notes here on YouTube, so just click that. You got to sign up, I think, with NCAA. We're using the official one, only official here for again diehard junkies like us when it comes to the college game. So yeah, get in there. I think we're close to like 200 people.
263 as of right now, including names such as Uncooked Carrots, Fotis Orp, Lamarck Gasaldridge, and Uncle Larry. So
what would be a good
bring it on?
Like use the college team, or use something from the college game and add beans to it. Ooh. You know, what would be a good name for your bracket?
Who are the Beavers?
Oregon State?
Yeah.
Oregon State Beaners?
Yeah.
They're not in it, unfortunately.
Isn't there a team that's called the Green Wave, like Tulsa or Tulane? The Bean Wave would be pretty good. I don't know if they're a good team.
Not in it.
Where's your bean? I don't know. Take beans. I don't know.
Where's your bean?
Take beans.
Just say things with beans. I don't mind that.
Take beans.
Anyway, get in there. I guess you got. When does it lock? Tomorrow. We got two more games. The final, first four, I guess I should say, tonight. We had on some last night. Did you watch any of Indiana, Wyoming?
No, I didn't.
Oh. Well, we're going to start the show with that.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Yeah, they lock tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern, Thursday, March 17th. There was an NBA tie-in last night, Lee. Mike Woodson, the coach of Indiana.
Wow.
Had his eyebrows, I noticed.
Yeah. And they won, right? They beat Wyoming. They did.
Yeah. They did. And shout out to Texas Southern.
Yeah.
Taking down the Corpus Christi's corpses in the Battle of Texas.
Okay, that's all the college hoops we'll do here on today's show. Let's get into the NBA games. And, well, you know where we're starting. Kyrie. He erupts for a career-high 60 points as the Nets roll over the Magic. 24 hours, Trey, after Towns goes for 60. Here's Kyrie going for 60 of his own. He's got the new franchise mark for the Nets. Eclipsing Darren Williams, who had it with 57 back in 2012. That caught me by surprise. I remember that game. But anyway, what did you think of the Kyrie show?
Sorry, we got to do a little bit more college basketball here. I see that Wyoming scored 58 points last night. So Kyrie Irving outscored the Wyoming Cowboys, I think, perhaps.
Not a shootout with those Cowboys.
A rock fight, they were saying. I don't know. Anyways, 50-point games are the old and busted. 60-point games, these are the new hotness. I don't know which is crazier. 60-point games on back-to-back nights, Karl Anthony Towns followed by Kyrie Irving, or 50-plus point games in back-to-back games for the Nets. Kevin Durant went for 53. Obviously, Kyrie 60 last night. That's the first time in NBA history that teammates have scored 50 or more in consecutive games. I also considered Kyrie going for 50-plus twice in 3 games. But LeBron just did that as well. So that one's out of here. Pick your poison. It's all awesome stuff from Kyrie. 60 points on 20 of 31 shooting, 8 of 12 from 3. This was way different than the 50 against the Hornets. I remember talking after that when we were saying, when Kyrie has a huge game, you think you're going to see a whole bunch of drives to the basket, fancy handles, tricky finishes. That was not the case against the Hornets, but that was definitely the case last night. And he did hit the threes as well. Hit 8 threes, threw in 6 boards, 4 assists, and 4 steals, because why not? Had 41 points in the first half. This was a huge blowout, so when he got to 51 in the third, I'm like, Kyrie's done. That's too bad. Only able to get 10 points here in the third quarter. There's no reason to bring him back in the fourth.
Yeah, that was weird. I flipped away. I thought, that's it.
Same, but he's a part-time player, so he can't play in tonight's game. Get him back out there, get that big 6-0, which he did. The bench went crazy. It was very fun to watch. My main takeaway on this one, rest is a superpower. Kyrie's playing half the time, so he's got to score double the points, but he's the freshest guy out there, which gives him a chance, and honestly, the Nets need it. John Schumann made a great point last night on Twitter. This was the perfect time for an explosion for Kyrie because the rest of the team has to play tonight, and he's not. So they're kind of like, hey, man, just go be our offense.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did. Just letting Kyrie do all the work. It was fun to watch. I much preferred the 60 points to the 50 points. The three-pointers are cool, but he had that take where he, body checked Cole Anthony out of the way at the free throw line, somehow throws it up off the glass. That's classic Kyrie stuff. Awesome to watch.
What do you think, Lily?
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's no doubt about Kyrie's talent and his skill and his watchability. You know, he's automatic. When he's in this zone, you want to watch him because he looks cool out there doing it. He can get that shot off. I mean, the one that got the 60 was a little like on Wagner, I think it was. He sort of faked and then stepped in and just knocked it in. It looks great. It's an incredible performance. 60 points after having 50 not long ago. And their offense, when they have someone like that available, is really, really different. I mean,
it is weird. He's only played in 19 games.
Yeah, and he's 27 a game. He's averaging there, and so he's kept himself in ready game shape.
Of course,
which is great for him. But I'm not sure sort of where to go with this because the Magic, it was a blowout. The game was over. It wasn't really close there. The Magic have been fighting, and it was just then Kyrie. I thought when he had 41 at halftime, I thought we might see 70 tonight. Why not?
Oh, he easily could have got it.
Yeah. I mean, he could have if he chose to, and he ends up with a nice big fat 60 and a very efficient 60 as well.
It was pretty cool. I don't care who it is to see when he's on the road, he can only play on road games. They're cheering for him. They're giving him standing ovations. They're Magic fans there. They're probably going out to the arena to maybe see a Magic win, few and far between, but that's what they're hoping for, a good performance from their young guys. But then you're there. It's like going to a baseball game. If I go to a baseball Blue Jays game, I want the Jays to win. But if the other guy's got a no-hitter going through 8, well, suddenly I'm cheering for a no-hitter. That's, for the most part, maybe not the playoff game or something like that, but you just want to see, quote-unquote, history or something special. Be like, oh, I was there. in this case, when Kyrie went for 60, they were like, he was getting standing O's. I'm not really exaggerating.
I think there's been a lot of scenarios where we see road guys getting ovations, no matter what arena, no matter what team, even if they are a strong fan base. I would say a lot of the Magic fans are just there just because there's something going on in Orlando. Yeah. Another funny thing on Twitter last night. Toronto Raptors fans who are currently in 7th place saying, let's get the hell out of the play-in tournament. This is not good for us. We do not want to play the Brooklyn Nets. It seems like a consensus across the league. You don't want to play an 8th place team in the freaking play-in tournament, which
we've never seen an 8th seed like this before.
No, sir. And it'll be a good story if they get into the postseason. A headline will be, they're trying to replicate what the Knicks did back in '99 as an 8th seed and go to the finals. And so there's a little New York tie-in. But everybody wants to get the hell away from these Brooklyn Nets, which it is a little wild. But watching these two guys. 50 points, consecutive games with Durant and Kyrie. It's hard not to think of the 2016 finals for me where they finished the job. Bron and Kyrie did 5, 6, 7, where in game 5 they had a combined 82. And then they got a 41 from LeBron in game 6. And then they got it done in game 7. And we could say that it's, all this theater going on with them playing home games and Kyrie sitting in the stands and them getting a fine and all that and make fun of it. But, I bring up the Cavs because I don't think that these guys like each other less than that Cavs team. Like, this is a good locker room. When they play basketball, as weird as it is from on the outside for us, that this guy's playing only half the games. If he does end up playing in all the games, I mean, they have as good a shot as anybody to go win the thing. And that's the bottom line. The Cavs had some issues, even though, Trey was in the locker room when they won and they were all buds. Kyrie and LeBron definitely had a bit of a thing going on. Kyrie got the heck out of there. It seems like going back to last year, Steve Nash has this team together. So that's why the Raptors, that's why everybody wants to avoid this team because they're that good.
Who's going to go for 60 tonight? There's 12 games on. Can this streak continue? You said it. Towns 2 nights ago. Kyrie last night. Best guesses? Is it Trae Young versus the Hornets? Is
Definitely.
it someone else?
Yeah, I was going to say, why not Kevin Durant, But then I was like...
Sure.
Then I was like, that's a bit of a boring pick. So I was going to actually say Trae Young in Charlotte. Both teams desperately need this win. Trae's been pretty hot lately, so maybe he could go out in there and grab 60. Be great.
Everybody's hot. Listen to this. Over the last 2 weeks alone, we've had 7 games of 50 points or more. 2 of those, of course, being 60. So Kyrie with 2 of them, 50 and 60. Karl Anthony Towns with the 60. LeBron with 2 50-plus games, the 50 and the 56. Tatum, 54. KD, 53. You add to that 47 for Curry the other night, 47 and 46 for Trae Young, 45 for Jordan Clarkson, 44 for Josh Hart, and De'Aaron Fox, who also had 41, 43 for Giannis and Embiid, 41 for Darius Garland, a 40-piece for the Joker. The last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure this is going to stop either here. Like, I think this is going to continue these 40, 45s, 50s. Maybe not 60. Maybe not even 60 tonight, but who knows?
We could get 3 50-point games tonight. That sounds ridiculous, but it's certainly possible. Atlanta at Charlotte, Trae Young, like you're saying, back-to-back 47 and 46. He likes to be elevated to what about this guy's status.
Yes. A massive game between those two teams in terms of
big-time
home court advantage. In a
big-time game. We've also got Denver at Washington. That'd be a nice little tick on Jokic's season-long resume, throwing up a 60-point game against them. And then we've got the Milwaukee Bucks against the Sacramento Kings. That could be a Giannis 50-point game easily, right there. So, I don't know. If we're talking about 150 points between 3 players tomorrow, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think a big part of it is just guys gearing up for the postseason and playing their best basketball. And that's what makes me think, like, drop it to 50 games per season. Maybe we see a lot more of this, like huge numbers, because these guys are just performing because they need to get ready for the playoffs.
You sort of think that's what's going on here. Maybe, but also maybe hand in hand, some of the teams that these guys are putting up monster numbers against,
I think it's a double gear
are
shift.
A little bit like, we're slowing down because we're not really anything to play for right now. And I'm not saying it's easy no matter who the hell you're playing to score 50 or 60 points.
Yeah, it was easy for pro players. It was easy for Kyrie against the Hornets. That one was an easy one. That was the easiest 50 of the season, I think.
I think the Orlando Magic were still the Orlando Magic in November and December, and no one was dropping 50 on them. I mean, I think we're seeing a 2-week span here because, the guys are just the Nets. Look at them. They are ready to go into the postseason. They know that, the first 60 games, what does it really, really mean to them? I mean, I think that's a part of it. We're seeing that, and LeBron, like, we desperately need wins in Los Angeles. So he's doing all he can. And, you saw it in the play-in tournament last year. Yeah, I think that's part of it for sure.
I know we were talking about the Nets. Well, we've been talking about them a lot, of course. And you were not convinced that they're they're a title contender. Are you coming around on that? Still have your hesitation?
Yeah, they can be, but they've still got a tough road to get through here. So, one slip up, one injury, and they're in trouble. When Kevin Durant is out there, it's certainly they elevate that team. But right now, against having to get through potentially, say, Miami and a Milwaukee and who else? Maybe a Philadelphia. Probably not one. You're going to have to pick one of those two teams. So the path is very, very tough for them if they are coming from the 8th seed. A contender...
Well, it might be the 7th seed, though.
Yeah,
it's 7th or 8th. Doesn't really matter. They've got no home court advantage. They may not have Kyrie for the entire playoffs. So they're more a contender than not a contender, but I'm not convinced they're going to get there just because despite the brilliance of Kevin Durant, he's still got to do that time and time and time again on the road.
They still have an all-NBA guy to fold into the mix here.
Oh, yes, Ben Simmons.
Remember him?
That name.
Well, Steve Nash says he's extremely hopeful that Ben Simmons can play for the Nets before the regular season ends. But this is a little shocking, right, Tass? I mean, there was this back issue. Some of us, definitely me, thought, seems a little suspect. It's the timing of going to play in Philadelphia that he's got this back issue. But they're saying it's more serious than maybe it was first led to believe. He's not doing anything outside of individual work. He's around the team, film session and all that, trying to learn sets they're running and stuff, but he's not doing, from what I can tell, practice with them, 5-on-5 action, and we are running out of games here in the regular season.
Yeah, it's surprising. He's been there a month. He hasn't practiced yet. So, yeah, it's something serious going on, whether it's the mental health issue or just the back issue. But, yes, we are running out of games, and even the way Goran Dragic was asked about it, his response was more like, yeah, we're folding a guy who's going to be a defensive player and rebound for us. They know where the bread is buttered.
Easier to do than to fold in a guy that needs, 20 shots.
The ball. Yeah. I mean, he's going to be the distributor for Kyrie and for KD. And, it's wild to think that, let's say the mandates continue into the postseason. Kyrie's still going to be available for more than half the games because they're playing on the road every single series.
Yeah. We joked about that at the start of the season. Crazy. We did.
It is bonkers. But yes, Kevin Durant is still the best player in the world, and I think it's fair to call him that because Giannis Antetokounmpo, every time he plays against the Brooklyn Nets, he says, that guy, after the game, after they win or lose, that guy over there, he's the best player in the world. And I don't think there's another scenario where one of the best players in the world calls one of the other players in the world the best player in the world. So I think it's fair to call KD that. And we see... yeah, that he can carry a team, and whether Ben Simmons is there or not, which is, it is. I don't get it. I don't get it. We're at 13 games remaining for the Brooklyn Nets, and he's still not going to be playing for the next few. So just before the postseason, a guy's going to come in and be your starting point guard. It's wild.
KD disagreed that he and Kyrie are the greatest duo of all time, and he said, "quote There's a lot of great artists that played together." Fun quote. I'm just curious if you have a favorite artist duo. Actual music.
I really liked Luther Vandross and Mariah Carey. They put together.
I was not expecting that answer. But that's a great answer. I'm glad I asked it. Your favorite artist duo is Luther Vandross and Mariah Carey.
I'm trying to duo, very, very small field though, isn't there? I mean, Wham were great. George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley there. Rest in peace, Georgie.
Good one.
Yeah. Who else we got? Who else?
JD, you can jump in here if you got a duo that comes to mind.
Captain and Tennille.
Okay.
Tears for Fears.
Oh.
Were they two?
White Stripes.
Yeah, there were two. White Stripes,
Ooh,
great
they're
one.
a good one. Good one.
Lennon and McCartney, considered a duo or no?
Ooh, interesting.
I mean, I think you have to almost in this in this sort of comparison here. It's not like it's just Kyrie and KD out there playing basketball. There are other players. There's Drummond. There's Bruce Brown.
People are reminding me
Andre Drummond on the Drummond. Andre Drummond and Bass Brown.
The stream team's reminding me of Shaggy and Sting. I mean,
That's the answer. That's the answer. I set you up.
I know.
And even I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else from Kyrie 60 or this insane scoring binge going on in the NBA right now?
Do you think a player is going to score 100 or more points in the next 10 years? Like by 2030?
No.
It's been 60 years. Guys are getting 50 and 60 easily right now.
It can't be.
Kyrie played like 2.5 quarters and got 60 points.
Yeah, it can't be a blowout though.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Blowouts for sure.
It's got to be a tight game.
I think I saw Ryan Russillo tweeting that the NBA should be allowed to fine, let's say the Nets last night, when they take a guy out like Kyrie who's got 50 with so much time still to go. Like you should, you're penalized if you take out a guy that could gun for either a Kobe-like number or even like a Wilt 100.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Is like you sort of do it out of respect for the game, don't you? Like, well, we're blowing you out. He's got 50. We'll sit him down.
But like Taz said, it's so funny. Like the line is drawn like, hey, he's allowed to go for the franchise record. Basically is what I think they were getting at there last night. Him getting to 60, like I said, eclipsing Darren Williams' 57. But that's then he's out.
Then
it's back to respect.
Then he's out unless the game is close.
Yeah.
Which it's not.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those unwritten rules.
So do you think we see 100 in the next
No,
year?
I don't think so.
You don't think we'll be sitting here in the Classic Factory talking about a 100-point game? What would we be talking about? A 70-point game?
Well,
this season?
Devin Booker had 70 like
71.
5 years ago, was that?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, put Devin Booker on that list who could go for 60 tonight if he's playing against the Rockets, which I believe he is. Back-to-back situation.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's more surprising is that we haven't had more than 70 since Kobe. I mean, so the list is just, it's all Wilt and a David Robinson in there, like with 70 or over. So you'd think that somebody would get more than 70, but
you need those perfect conditions, I guess. A big part of it. The big part of the Kobe going for 81 was the Raptors were in the game.
Yeah, they were down after three quarters. I think.
Because then there is the classic Kobe game where he had 60
against
three quarters against the Mavs, right?
Right. And that one was just over, I believe, that game.
Similar to this.
If I remember.
Yep.
All right, well, let us know on the stream team. A couple questions. Who's going for 60 tonight? Your best guess. Let us know that. And answers to Trey's question. Are we gonna see a 80, 90, or 100 by 2030?
Yeah, we need a 90-point game.
Yeah.
Got 50s, 60s, 70s, 180. Let's get a 90.
Sounds actually almost arguably cooler than 100. I don't know why. Got one for 91.
Yeah.
All right. A couple other games last night. We brought up Devin Booker. Maybe he goes for 60 tonight. Well, he scored 27 in 30 minutes as the Suns sunk the Pelicans 131-115. He had a little span at the end of the third quarter, a little 33-second span Booker did, where he sort of like closed the door on the game. The Pelicans are hanging around, but then he comes down, he draws a foul on, I believe it was Jose Alvarado, sort of gets to his spot, gets him reaching, hits the jumper, and hits the free throw. Pelicans come down, they miss. Booker hits a 3 in transition from about 26 feet. So there's, boom, 6 points just like that. Willie Green called it demoralizing. And again, it was like sort of a close game. Then it's pretty big. And then Monty Williams subs Devin Booker out to start the fourth. That's fine. Get him some rest. He never has to come back in. JaVale McGee time, baby. He scored 9 of his 19 points in the first 4 minutes of that fourth quarter. And then the Suns had a huge lead. And again, Booker didn't have to return. And Phoenix gets their, I believe, 55th win of the season. 55-14. They're 26-6 on the road. And, everybody just contributing for this team that looks like, without Chris Paul, still just a machine, I think is the best way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it already. They're virtually locked up number one. They're 7.5 games up on Memphis and 8 on Golden State. So you expect probably Devin Booker and maybe Bridges and a couple other guys.
Here?
I expect they will take a game or two off, especially, again, against the Rockets on a back-to-back. I'm not saying that tonight, but those sort of circumstances, you would think Monty Williams will start to put a bit of an eye towards just making sure guys are fresh and ready to go for the playoffs, because it's been great. It was a little bumpy when Chris Paul went out there. They lost a couple of games. But they're rolling right now. And for the Pelicans, they can just be thankful, I think, that the Blazers are not trying to do anything here because You know, they have been battling, but they've they actually only lost one game in a row here, but they've lost a few recently when they could have
7 basically.
Yeah,
they're fine when Brandon Ingram plays.
Yeah.
They're a very good team, but without him,
Yeah.
their record is, I don't know if you have it in front of you. It's bad. It's like 3-16.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. So they haven't solidified yet their spot in the play-in, but they're game up on Portland, 2 up on San Antonio.
When it comes to the Suns too, I know Suns fans, Tass, are probably like salivating that Torrey Craig hit 3 threes. You know, they hit 18 overall in this game, but like if he can do that, like he needs to be able to shoot. Because remember, he couldn't hit anything in the playoffs. You know, he's a great defensive player. You want him out there, but if he just like can knock down 1, 2, 3 threes, there's minutes there for him, and that's what he did last night. So see if he can continue that in a postseason. Same thing with like campaign and stuff like that. As he's got more opportunity with Chris Paul out. All these guys. I mean, it sounds silly. It's like your stars win you a title or get you to the finals, but to really pull it off, you need those games, those quarters, those moments where these guys come in and can maybe turn around a game.
Is he going to play? I think he will. I would say
I think he will.
Cam Johnson is is a far bigger player that he needs to get back. He's been hurt, but yeah, I think they're ready to go. They're the Chris Paul thing was the biggest worry, and that's still their biggest concern. Is he going to be back healthy? When's he coming back?
Huge question mark. Hopefully he's fine. I mean, there's really been no updates.
No.
Right?
I expect if he's healthy, they'll try to get him a game or two before the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, teams try and usually try to do that.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else to add to the Suns? Beating down the Pelicans. We're probably going to fly through the rest of these games, to be honest, because we had Max Strus leading a late rally. I know Tass was happy. I'm happy. I can't remember. Was your daughter picking? No, your daughter was picking the Heat, right?
Her butt picked the.
Oh yeah, her fart picked the Heat.
Mm-hmm. Hot farts.
All right.
Hot farts.
Anyway, the Heat won, but the Pistons covered. We'll get to that later and pick them. 105-98. Lee, get us started on this one.
The Heat farted in the third quarter.
Yeah,
they were up by
farts.
14 points with about 7 minutes to go in the third, and it sort of looked like it was leaning towards blowout territory, and then they could not score at all.
You never want a blowout when it comes to a fart.
19 straight points by the Pistons. They got back in the lead, and then it was Max Strus in that fourth quarter scored 16 points. He wasn't even supposed to be playing in this game, but Jimmy Butler got injured. He left in the first half, tweaked his ankle there. Didn't look super serious. I think they probably thought, we're going to win this game, let's just not take any chances. Yeah. Anyway, Strus came off the bench and saved the day, really, for Miami, because they were down. They came back. They get the nice victory in the end, 7 points. But you have to give Dwayne Casey a lot of credit here. He has this team playing hard. Cade Cunningham missed this game. He was sick.
Yeah.
That was a sort of late game decision.
He came to shoot around looking like death, eating crackers. So he was in pretty bad shape. That was Dwayne Casey talking about Cade Cunningham.
This man was eating crackers.
But the Pistons competed really well in this game, I thought. And, Livers coming off the bench, Isaiah Livers coming off the bench, he played some good minutes for them. And they just worked hard. They just went out there and said, we're not going to be embarrassed tonight. And they weren't. So full credit to the team for doing that. And the Heat scored 11 points in the third quarter and 37 in the fourth quarter. So they had a big second half, but just sort of not the way you would have thought going into a game against the Pistons. So the Heat win, as they should. Pistons did a fantastic job just making it competitive.
I'm excited for Tyler Herro in the postseason. This guy is on fire. He's locked up 6th man of the year. It's his. He's taking that hardware home with him, rightfully so. But he's going to have, we're going to get some bubble hero moments here, I think, in the postseason. Mm-hmm. He's so important to him. He plays a lot off the bench, but we're going to get 25-point games, 30-point games, I would think, because he's done it all season long, Trey.
Oh, yeah, he's been really great, and he's a major X factor for the Heat, especially right now with whatever's going on with Jimmy Butler's ankle. This is the 3rd time this season already that he sprained that same ankle. The Heat are 2.5 games up on the Bucks right now. They've got an easy-ish schedule, though somehow they play a lot more playoff teams than non-playoff teams, despite having one of the easier schedules left over. I don't understand it, Tankathon. Make it make sense. But they're going to need Herro to be their main off-the-dribble kind of penetration guy. Strus has been good. He was awesome last night. Victor Oladipo is back, had 11 points in his debut, has scored 11 points since. Maybe they give him a little bit of run, but Herro's going to be the guy that needs to make shots for them, especially come playoff time. He was awesome in the bubble, and then he was brutal in round 1 against the Bucks last year. 31% from the field, 31% from 3, scored 9 points a game. He's going to have to be 18, 19 to 25 if they're going to have a chance to win a title this year. He's just a a very high, volatile kind of player with a very high ceiling. And when he's on fire, like, he looks unstoppable.
Yep.
He's really figured out how to put the ball on the floor and score at the hoop as well as just shooting threes.
Yeah, his finishing around the rim is really impressive for a young guy. It's almost Kyrie-esque, like he can switch it to either hand and finish very comfortably. So, yeah, he's great.
Yeah, so Miami put another half game between, you said it, the Bucks. They're 2.5 up. Philly's 3.5 back. Chicago 4. Boston 4.5. So it's not over the Heat wrapping up the number one. So we think it's most likely.
I thought it was kind of weird that Max Strus, quote, wasn't supposed to play. Like, he was on the bench. I guess Oladipo is getting more burn than him. What more can Strusy do? I mean, get him out there. I think the question mark, is off the bench. Herro's going to be their guy. That's going to be the number one priority. He's got to be huge, and the headlines going into the playoffs are going to be, this guy scored 9 points per game last year in the playoffs. What is he going to do this year? But Strus beside him has been so freaking good this season, so I'm a little confused. Like, are they going to play Oladipo and Gabe Vincent off the bench over Max Strus when the guy just is really, really important to them? I think it's a good problem to have, but they've got a little bit of what the Warriors have, a little too many guys that can play the guard position off the bench.
Final game from last night, only 4 on. Grizzlies cruised past the Pacers to notch their 4th straight victory. No Ja Morant, but they got it done, Tess.
Yeah, 38 assists without Ja Morant, and that's a ginormous number, and they're doing it obviously by committee. And another assist from Ja Morant on Twitter. He tweeted that Jaren Jackson should win Defensive Player of the Year. Yes. Always out there for his guys. Yep. StatMuse tweeting that Jaren Jackson Jr. leads the NBA in blocks, leads the NBA in block percentage. Block percentage, what the is that? It's percentage of shots blocked while on the floor. Yep. Anyways, second in defensive field goal percentage, and third among centers in 3-pointers contested. Third among centers.
The last one.
This guy is
last one's crazy.
You shouldn't. I think StatMuse should have just stopped at 3. But anyway,
that's why they turned off the comments.
But yeah, they get it done against that Pacers team that was horrendous. That was bad.
Oh, they are all in on the tank in Indiana. It's bad. But yeah, good Grizzlies win here. What do you think about Jaren Jackson Jr.'s? Okay, look, he's probably not going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Might get some votes.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to be in the mix for one of the 2 teams. Right?
Yes, he is. I mean, I think he's
be tough.
Yeah, I think most improved is where he's got a better chance of getting some traction there. I just don't think
his teammate's going to win it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, in fact, he will. Yeah, but defensively, I think this is just going to be a year behind because you just haven't noticed him have the impact that he's had this season. He goes after it. If you come into the paint, he's aggressively trying to block your shots. He's not waiting for you to come to the rim. So I love it. I think it's been huge. I think he's been incredible for them this season, and we've question whether or not he's worth that big 4 years, $100 million, because he was always injured. And like, is he a big traditionally? I mean, not so much, but this year he's proven to be a lot more effective in that role. So I hope he does get some love for it. I've just been really impressed with everything the Grizzlies have done this season. I think Tyler, what's that coach's name?
Taylor Jenkins.
Taylor Jenkins. Thank you. I think he's got a real chance for Coach of the Year as well. So they've got some. They're going to get some accolades there in Memphis.
Should we do some hardware talk on Friday's Drop podcast? I think there's only one game on
makes sense.
Thursday
First
night.
day of the tournament.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Might be a good time. I know we've talked a ton about the MVP, so we could even set that one aside and talk about some of these other ones, Coach and Defensive Player of the Year and Most Improved and stuff like that. What do you think? Should somebody write that down in the Slack channel?
Throw it in the brainstorms.
Yeah.
I'll put it. The worst awards. We'll talk about all of them on Friday.
Well, get excited. Well, we can fill out our ballot, even make it a little more exciting, 1, 2, 3 or something like that. Hey, we could do all NBA teams. Hey, we're at the point of the season where we got to start doing this. There's not a lot of regular season left, guys.
There's not, but you got to see all of it.
No, you don't. Not all of it.
You do. If you're picking MVP, you got to.
I didn't say MVP.
You're right. We're talking about the bad ones.
We're not going to do MVP though. We're going to do the other one.
We've talked about the MVP every day on this show for 20 minutes.
There's a reason. It's the juicy way. You want to talk 6-man?
I would love to talk 6-man. I would love to know who's in third spot on your 6-man of the year list.
What did you do last year? You did the 10.
Yeah, what are we getting? 10 All-NBA teams. That's what we need.
You want 10 All-NBA teams? Maybe I'll make it 11 this year. Always add one.
I love it.
True sicko mode. Yeah, okay. I'll start getting to work on the All-NBA teams, 10 All-NBA teams. Tass,
yeah, man.
What do you think? Should we do that on Friday? What else are we going to do?
Yeah, what else are we going to do?
There's only one game on. You
Maybe
guys
we should just watch college basketball.
Wow.
Nobody's watching the NBA. That's why NBA TV
right.
would give us days off.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, what days would we get off?
Thursday, Friday.
yeah.
And then
Tomorrow
the Monday
and Friday.
for the championship.
So
game.
we're
Yeah.
working here in the Classic Factory on Thursday and Friday?
Just watching
Times have
games.
changed. Yeah.
No, we're just watching games.
Nice.
Ooh, that's not a bad idea. Okay, we'll kick that idea around. Okay, let's take our break. When we come back, we're going to hit the beach, answer a few of your questions. Don't go anywhere.
If you're looking to get better gut health, more energy, or a stronger immune system in a really easy, natural way, you've got to check out Athletic Greens. Athletic Greens is an all-in-one solution that actually tastes good, so you can finally enjoy getting your daily vitamins. With one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. You gotta step your adaptogen game up, people. Whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free, Athletic Greens is lifestyle-friendly. AG1 contains less than a gram of sugar, no GMOs, and no nasty chemicals. It's one simple thing you can do to take great care of yourself. It's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition with just one scoop of water. One scoop in a cup of water every day. To make it even easier, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/nodunks. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/nodunks to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
Spring is springing here in the South. It's coming. And for the Mellis household, it's that time of year when my wife and I argue about our thermostat before we go to bed. She likes it warm. I like it cool. Luckily, I have a Helix mattress that balances it all out. Helix Sleep has a quiz that takes just 2 minutes to complete and matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why would you buy a mattress made for someone else? With Helix, you're getting a mattress that you know will be perfect for the way you sleep and perfect for me. Helix mattresses have a special one that is great for cooling you down if you sleep hot and great for saving marriages. They have soft, medium, and firm mattresses as well. Mattresses great for spinal alignment to prevent morning aches and pains, and even a Helix Plus mattress for plus-size sleepers. So if you're looking for a mattress, hit the internet. You don't gotta go to a store. You take a quiz, you order the mattress that you get matched to, and the mattress comes to your door shipped for free. You gotta pay for the bed though. You don't ever need to go to a mattress store again. And here's the offer. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/nodunks. That's helixsleep.com/nodunks.
Finally, Liquid IV has come back to No Dunks. Yeah. Welcome back, Liquid IV. One goal I have for myself this year, crush a marathon. Let's do it. We're qualifying for Boston. Let's go.
Wow.
And I'm going to be doing that with the help of my favorite hydration product, Liquid IV. 1 stick of Liquid IV in 16 ounces of water hydrates faster and more efficiently than water alone. Stuff tastes great. I've been using it on a lot of my runs. We're talking flavors like watermelon, lemon lime, strawberry, probably my favorite, pina colada, and more. Went for a long run this last weekend, 17 miles. We're getting up there when it comes to the training. And I had this in my water bottle, the Liquid IV, and it's so much better than normal water. So much better. Just that nice little taste. I had the lemon lime this last weekend. It was great. Suddenly I'm like sprinting out there because of this stuff. It contains 5 essential vitamins, B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C, with 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. Obviously huge if you're doing those long runs. It's made with premium ingredients, so grab Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco. Tass, I know you frequent a Costco.
I've seen it.
Can you grab me some next time you go?
Yeah, sure.
Or, you know what? Don't, because you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code NODUNKS at checkout. You probably can't go to Costco, show up to the cash register with your Liquid IV and go, no dunks. Or maybe you can. I mean, we'll have to ask, but I don't think you can. So do it online. Go to liquidiv.com. Use that code NODUNKS at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order when you use the promo code NODUNKS at liquidiv.com. Experience better hydration today at liquidiv.com. Promo code NODUNKS. Back here in the Classic Factory, we were talking about Tyler Herro and the odds of him winning sixth man. We brought up StatMuse, the Twitter account. Well, look at this tweet. Speak of the devil, Tyler Herro, 21 points per game, is averaging more points than Jamal Crawford, Manu Ginobili, or Jason Terry ever did in any of their, seasons in their careers. Truly one of the best sixth man seasons we've ever seen. That is by way of @StatMuse on Twitter.
Can you reply?
No, I can't. It's turned off. They don't want the engagement.
Well, I would engage with that tweet and say, nice tweet. Those are some serious stats. Those are some of the best six men we've ever had in the league.
Right.
Lock it in.
Yeah, it's a good stat. Good stat there, StatMuse. Let's hit the beach. Yeah, Beach Steppin. Only place to read your emails and tweets. I would like to reply to StatMuse. Great stat. Every time. They share a good stat.
I think we should. What did you just say? Great stat, StatMuse. We should clip that and then reply to every one of their tweets with that. Great stat, StatMuse.
Okay, we're on the beach where you guys are sending in your questions. You can tweet them in @NoDunksInc. You can leave them in the YouTube comments below our videos, or you can email them in nodunks@theathletic.com. Got one here from Jamie. Hi guys, I'm fairly new. I've been listening for about a year. I love the show. I wish I'd watched you back on NBA TV. But I never watch any Talking Heads NBA shows. All right. I've asked this before, and I'm thinking maybe you think it's just not an interesting question, but I'm going to ask it one more time. Here you go. You're starting a team with one M Bridges. Which one do you choose? My guess is you all think it's easy, Mikal Bridges, because of upside, etc. But Myles sure is getting it done right now. Thanks again. That's Jamie. With his perseverance here, sending in this question every day for the last 4 months. Here we go. No, I'm kidding.
I didn't like it the first time I read it, but I think now it's the appropriate time. It's a great question. Has Myles passed the other Bridges? Has he driven past him? No. I would take Mikal Bridges. I don't think it's a lock. I mean, it's either you're picking offense or you're picking an extremely good defensive player with solid offense in Mikal Bridges. And yes, maybe some more upside with Myles, but I'm taking Mikal and just how solid that man is. And also because I was playing Pirtle, the old NBA word game last week, and there was a 6'8" forward, and I thought it was Mikal Bridges. I think he's bigger than he is because he's only 6'6", because he's that amazing defensively. How tall do you think he is?
I probably would have thought he was taller than 6'6", because his arms go forever.
Yeah, he's got a 7'1" wingspan, and that's someone special that you want on your team. So although Myles is having a great year, and he's come back to earth in terms of shooting the ball, I would take Mikal Bridges. But Jamie, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate that question.
Myles Bridges is having an awesome year.
Yeah,
he is averaging 20 points per game, 7 boards, 4 assists. He's not shooting the three ball all that well, but 48.5% from the floor overall. Yeah, that's good.
It's down a little bit, the three-point shooting from last year. He's taking a few more, but he's the second best player on the Hornets, and it's very close. I think they're with LaMelo.
What about Gordon?
Yeah, you think
I think he's better than Gordon. I mean, Gordon just he's not out in the court enough. But so Bridges, I think, is more, fourth on the Suns, and I think he really thrives in that role. He's fantastic defensively. Doesn't get as many opportunities to shoot and score as Bridges in Charlotte probably does. So if Mikal Bridges was in a more elevated role, like second best, player to look for to score, would he be able to contribute that sort of 20 to maybe 22 a game? Right now, possibly, but I think he's just really able to do a lot more, given that, behind Chris Paul and Devin Booker and Ayton when he plays, when they all play, then Bridges he doesn't get the same defensive attention that Myles gets in Charlotte. So I think it's very good, close. I I think Bridges Myles is a better offensive player.
Yeah. Bridges, Myles.
Yeah. But Mikal defensively, I mean, he's definitely going to finish in one of the all defensive teams.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
That's why I actually don't think this is all this close. I mean, and when you say that, it sounds like you're really knocking Myles Bridges, but the truth is there's a lot of guys who can score 20 points per game in this league, and Mikal Bridges has already proven that he's probably easily top 10, maybe even top 5 defender in the league already.
Yeah, but can he get you convinced on a?
My point is a lot more difficult to find a guy that can lock down elite scorers and contain them than it is to find a 20 point per game scorer in this league.
Right,
it is.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, the role that he has in Phoenix is there's less demand on him than what Myles has, and Myles, I think, is thriving in that role as well. I
know, and that's what I mean. I don't want to push one down just to raise the other, but I think it's Mikal Bridges at this point in their careers.
I don't think you're starting a team with either of them, so it completely depends on what your team looks like. Myles is better for the Hornets because he needs to run the court and play in transition and finish plays at the rim alongside LaMelo, whereas the Suns need a wing defender. 77% of Mikal Bridges' two-pointers are assisted. 98% of his threes are assisted. Myles Bridges, 58% of his twos, 84% of his threes. They ain't number one guys. Neither of them are creators. So you're talking about which is a better second guy to have here, and it depends. It just completely depends. So, the Suns wouldn't trade Mikal for Myles, and I don't think that the Hornets would trade Myles for Mikal either.
Okay. So both great bridges.
Good bridges.
What's your favorite bridge in the world?
The next one. I love the open road.
That's nice.
There's actually a bridge in Morris, Illinois, that when I think of a bridge that's just a little bit too narrow, that's the bridge I think of. So I hate it, actually. But it's a very notable bridge to me. I don't like it when it feels like your car is, like a centimeter from the edge. Yeah. I don't like that.
Do you have a favorite bridge?
Lloyd.
Over Jeff? You're crazy.
Bo's up there too.
If you're starting a movie, you're going with Lloyd or Jeff. Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff.
All bangers.
Do you have a favorite bridge?
Not Todd, that's for sure. Anyways, Mikal is, it's always a tough name for me because I see Mikal and it's Mikal. Don't like that. Also, Jamie spelled Jamie. One of those Jamies.
See, to me, that's pretty...
What did you say?
Jamie.
Yeah, that's
You're thinking of a Jaime.
Yeah.
I think that's a 50-50 on that.
Oh, yeah. I grew up with a lot of Jamie, the one. Yeah, but.
Yeah, that looks more like a jammy.
Jammy?
Anyway, next question. Recently, I went to Knicks at Clippers and was surprised to learn Ryan Arcidiacono was on the Knicks. It's true. But I was even more surprised to learn his name is Ryan. I legit thought his name was Archie Diacono.
Yeah, it works.
So what's another example?
And he looks like it too.
It looks like an Archie.
He could be an Archie for sure. So what's another example of you being completely wrong about a player's name without realizing it? That's from James Beard, the James Beard. Lee, what do you got?
So this is an athlete, not a basketball player, but around 2007, I became aware of, around 2006, 2007, of this very good runner coming out of Jamaica. And they said he's too tall for the 100 meters. 200 is his best event, and his name is Usain Bolt, as in two O's, Usain Bolt. I tried to find documentary evidence last night on YouTube of someone calling him Usain. Couldn't find it. So I was calling him Usain when everyone else was calling him Usain. I said, nope, his name is Usain.
Right.
But now I've come round to admit. His name is Usain. He calls himself Usain, so I'm going with that.
Right.
But for a while, I was like, it's Usain, people. Usain. I've heard it. I've heard it before. He was like, smashing world records left and right. Turns out I can't find evidence to support my case, so I'm going to have to step down on this one and say, all right. If someone can find an Usain Bolt out there somewhere, show it to me.
Right. Well, I guess my answer is similar to bring it back to the NBA world. I'm convinced it keeps flip-flopping around here, but Nikola and Nikola. There's two.
Yeah.
There's Vucevic. There's Jokic. Every couple of years I'm confused which one it is, or are they supposed to be the same? I've found a video where Vucevic is saying we're both Nikola, but everybody was calling the Joker Nikola. And it's like drives me insane. It's like, which one is it? And why isn't it the same one? Because they're telling us it is. But on now Basketball Reference, Vucevic, as the pronunciation is Nikola. But I thought he was the Nikola.
Crazy.
I think they're messing with us. Yeah.
I let that one go. It's true. It's changed. It's flip-flop.
And you hear a lot of people with the Joker, they say Nikola.
Is it Vuce or Vus?
Oh, that's a whole other thing. But anyway, that drives me nuts. And so I just want to know which one it is. And how is it not the same? But they say it is. There's literally documentation of them saying, yeah, it's the same. They asked Joker, is it Nikola, like Vucevic? And he's like, yeah. But then they're like, but people say Nikola. He's like, yeah, I don't care. And then he's like, just how fast you say it and like stuff like that. He just doesn't care, I guess. But
I think there's also, I think you can find a Pau Gasol video on YouTube where he's explaining like the 3 different pronunciations of his name. Standard English, I think he speaks Spanish, and I think he speaks Catalan as well. And they're all just barely different inflections, basically, like the difference between Nikola and Nicola. So it probably just comes down to English speakers not saying it right for a long time and then just being like, okay.
So which one do you go with as a Bulls fan for Vucci Baby?
Vooch.
But what do you call him if you have to say his first name?
Nick. Nikola. I tend to go with the knee in general.
Yeah. But I don't know, it's weird.
It is. So it's changed. You got any names that?
Yeah, I've been listening to the Up First podcast on NPR for years now, and the host is named Steve Inskeep. Steve Inskeep.
That's his first name?
Is it Steve Inskeep?
Oh.
Or Steven Skeep?
Wow.
What do you think?
I think it's Inskeep.
It's Inskeep.
Yeah.
But he says it so fast, and I listened to it on 1.5 speed. And I'm like, Steven Skeep. Just one long name. Steven Skeep.
I'm guessing it's Steven.
I have one more, but it's in regards to spelling. I don't think we make a big a deal about this as we should. In the league currently, there's a DeAndre Jordan where the A is capitalized in DeAndre. There's a DeAndre Ayton where the A is not capitalized in DeAndre. There's a DeAndre Bembry where there's an apostrophe on the end of his name. And then there's a DeAndre Hunter where the A is capitalized and there's an apostrophe between the E and the A. 4 different variations. Yeah. Which one's your favorite?
Without the apostrophe, because I'd always get it in the wrong spot.
Yeah. I actually like the DeAndre Jordan with the capital A on the Andre.
That's what I go for.
Ayton always gets me. I'm always like, oh, that's capital. Nope, it's not. Yeah, I just want to note that as well.
Good.
These things keep me up at night. Do you have an answer to the question, like with the?
Oh yeah. The I always thought Iman Shumpert's name was pronounced Iman Shumpert. I think that's right.
Next question, final one. Hey, no dunks, all hunks. Skeets and Tass are obviously Raptors fans. I myself am a Rockets fan and an NBA sicko. I've always had certain teams and players as my second favorites behind my Houston Rockets. For example, the current Bulls, there you go, Trey, and Hornets. This writer liked the Thunder when they had KD and Westbrook, and so on. I say all of this to say I've never been a Raptors fan. Never necessarily cared about the team or the players. Actually, at one point, I greatly disliked the Raptors and Kyle Lowry. He was a former Rocket, played well off our bench, but I was salty as hell that he left us and became an all-star with Toronto. But I've listened to y'all's show for so long and heard your Raptors analysis for years that I've now become a Raptors fan. I love their roster, their management, their jerseys, just everything. I want to go to Canada and see a game. I want Scotty Barnes to win Rookie of the Year. The question is, have you all ever disliked something, but after being exposed to someone who loves it, makes you love it too? H-Town, hold it down, turn up, love you guys, awesome. That's from Ryan M.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, good email.
One thing, Ryan, he didn't leave the Rockets. He was traded, for a first-round pick. They gave up. They thought, oh, this guy's too much of a problem.
Yeah, he was a bit of a head case, was the
Things changed.
The story.
First-round pick, Daryl Morey gave him up for, if I do believe. Worked out well. Protected first-round pick. Worked out pretty well for the Raps. Great deal.
Great trade. What's your answer to the question?
I got 2, and they go kind of hand in hand. Country music and the outdoors for me.
Good answers.
Yeah, very, very much disliked them. Grew up having to go to the Morton Arboretum in Lisle, Illinois, go look at some trees. Sounded like the lamest thing of all time from ages, up until I turned 30. Basically, why would I want to go look at trees? Now I would love to go look at trees. And it's the same thing with country music. Like, I grew up, my dad listened to country quite a bit. Just thought it was old man music.
Yeah.
Hated it. Dated a girl in college. She listened to country music. Took me to a Tim McGraw concert once, and it was actually kind of cool, but never stuck. And then Laura and I started dating. She was a country music fan as well, and she, I fell in love with her. Fell in love with the country music. What can I say? And I say they go hand in hand because once we got down here to Atlanta, had to spend a lot more time outdoors because You got to down here. You got to get used to it. So country music, it just sounds good outdoors. I don't know why. It's made for listening on the front porch, the back porch. I think it's technically a deck if it's in your back. That's something I learned from country music. But yeah, so yeah, country music for me, especially once I found out that like if you listen to country music from the 1970s, it's like all about drugs and alcohol. So you're like, oh, this is like rap music.
Yep.
Before rap music came out.
It's pretty wild.
Yep.
When you think about it, that's a great answer. Country music. I would echo that answer. I had Matt Austin sending me a Spotify playlist of like the country songs I should be listening to right now.
Garth. I mean, he's a big Garth head,
he
isn't
didn't
he?
include any Garth on that. Yeah, but he is a big Garth. I think did he just go see Garth, or is he going to see Garth? It's one or the other, Matteo. But what's your answer to this?
Ceviche.
He just went to Garth.
Oh, he just went, did he? Okay.
Yeah, he got back on social media just to post a photo of going to see Garth.
Okay, great.
Nice.
Ceviche.
Yeah, nice one.
And seafood in sort of sushi in general. Really, yeah. My wife, Roxana, doesn't eat like meat and chicken and things like that, but she used to eat seafood and fish. I was never really a big seafood head. But man, you get some good ceviche in Peru, in Lima. Oh,
you've talked about this before. Yeah.
You know, 2 of the top 5 restaurants in the world are in Lima. Wow. Incredible stuff.
You've been to both?
1, yeah.
Next time.
Not too bad. Not too bad. No, you can't. It's one of those ones. It's like, you know, you got to. Book months and months and months in advance. Yeah, and they close over Christmas. One of them, which is like when we've been there, crazy. I know.
Cool. JD, do you have an answer for this? I don't.
Not really. I'm still waiting to like something in general. A lot of good bridges in country music too. I'll just throw that.
Sure.
in there. Yeah.
Well, what about basketball?
Sport. Yeah, for sure. Football, I love watching NFL football when I'm surrounded by a bunch of people who are really into it. Like, especially here in Atlanta, because people just go crazy for it. If you're in a bar, the Falcons are losing, especially because everybody gets very upset. It's great. It's great. But basketball, for sure. I mean, I had zero interest. I didn't dislike it. I just had zero interest.
You're going to games.
You're watching Michael Jordan in Toronto. I mean,
Well, there was that.
That was in the who cares phase of my basketball career. But hey, man, makes for a good story, I guess.
Yeah. There was that time that we came down for a Falcons game and the Panthers had an incredible comeback.
Guys left.
But we left. The quote-unquote sports fans, they left.
Yeah, we were worried about like catching a flight or something, right?
And Matty-O and I were on the same flight as you, and we stayed till the end because that was one of the best sporting events I've ever been to.
So the Falcons marched down the field and kicked a field goal, right?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, and they won by like 1 point or something. It was amazing. Matt and I had great seats from Turner. We were just hugging each other, just like
big Julio Jones,
just spilling beer all over the place.
Oh, wow.
It was awesome.
1 point. Wow.
It might have been. I don't know. I think it was 1 point. Yeah.
Yeah, we were real rouge in the face for leaving that one.
Yeah. I think we found out about it on MARTA too, if I remember correctly. Like while we were going back to the hotel to get our stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
But at least we got to be at the airport.
Yeah, I know. That's true. Do you have an answer for this, Tess? This one?
Well, I guess in sort of the same light that JD, accepts basketball, I accept and I like Survivor.
Hey, nice.
I am worried about this season.
Already?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you mentioned it last week. I think there's not the personalities. I don't know if there's enough. Really? Anyways, I'm watching. But yeah, there's not a lot of juice with these people. But I'll be listening.
Don't worry. It's a great time to get in, guys.
Oh, great time. Second episode tonight, Survivor, and second episode of No Buffs tomorrow, which has its own separate podcast feed and YouTube feed. And we're looking to get some guests on this year's edition of No Buffs. And while we're talking about No Buffs, Trey, No Breaks returns today.
That's right. A little less than 2 hours from now, 1 p.m. Eastern. Got 3 sports going on right now.
Holy.
Basketball, Survivor, and Formula One racing.
Okay, so Graydon back with you?
Graydon's back, hopefully, because I don't know that much that's been going on. The only thing I can tell right now is porpoising. A lot of problems with porpoising on the track.
Going slow?
No, they've changed the cars, so now when they lose, like they're downforce to the track, they go whoop whoop whoop.
Oh,
whoop.
interesting.
Cars are bouncing. Yeah, I mean, probably not fun if you're driving 200 miles an hour.
No. All right, so no breaks. We're spinning that off into its own podcast feed and YouTube feed. Is that correct, JD?
That's correct. But today's episode will be in the No Dunks feed and on the No Dunks YouTube channel.
Okay, so look for that. If you are a fan of F1 or you want to get into it, you've started watching Drive to Survive like many of us did and was a big reation why we got into it. No breaks later today. I'm very excited.
That's a great answer right there. Thing that I didn't care for until found out somebody who loved it. You loved Drive to Survive, told us to watch it. We loved it. And then we actually heard from Graydon, who knows stuff about Formula One. So, yeah. Dip in, peeps.
And Nora, like, she is a diehard F1 fan now.
Nora is.
Yeah. Like, it's like I'm starting to think she knows more about F1 than I know about NBA.
We got to get her on No Break.
I told her.
I told her,
and,
too.
like, I am not, unlike just my wife, so I'm not trying to just, like, big her up here. She legit knows like a scary amount about it. I'm like, is that what you're doing on your phone all the time? You're just reading about F1?
Is she ever, walking around with a Ferrari flag around the house, Or is
she is Team Ferrari.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
She's a Tifosi, huh?
Yeah.
Get her in here.
Yeah,
What's she doing in 1 hour and 50 minutes?
Nothing. We'll get her in here.
Come on by.
All right. So, yeah, no breaks. Very excited for that. Later today, here in the No Dunks YouTube feed, but we'll be spinning that off into its own thing. And then No Buffs or Survivor podcast tomorrow. Let's take one more break. And when we come back, JD's got Tweet of the Night, we got Pick'em results, and we'll make our picks for tonight. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, here's a live ad read for you.
Okay.
I was clicking around the Masterclass website this morning on the quest for Inspirado for today's live ad read. And the thing that caught my eye today, Nancy Cartwright teaches voice acting. Straight up Bart Simpson.
Oh, that's who that
cool.
is. Yeah.
Teaching a class? I hate school. Wild stuff.
Don't have a cow, man.
Eat my shorts, Lee. It made me think, could I be a voice actor?
Sure.
Probably not, to be quite honest. Like, I think it's funny enough that I talk for a living.
Yeah, me too.
I would say after my wide hips, my voice is one of my least favorite things. Wide hips, number one, voice number two. But if I ever wanted to try a career as a voice actor, I'd start with Nancy Cartwright's course on Masterclass. Because with Masterclass, you can learn from the world's best minds, anytime, anywhere, and at your own pace. With over 100 classes from a range of world-class instructors, that thing you've always wanted to do is closer than you think. You can get unlimited access to every masterclass and 15% off an annual membership by going to masterclass.com/nodunks today. That's masterclass.com/nodunks. Terms apply.
Cowabunga.
This morning, my 4-year-old child was sitting at her mini breakfast table, scarfing some Lucky Charms, and I asked her to make my pick'em game selection for me. I said, who is going to win? The Detroit Pistons or the Miami Heat? She proclaimed, the Miami Heat! And then she farted. And she said, oh, my butt said no. So I said, great. Because I didn't want to pick the Miami Heat. I'm picking the Detroit Pistons. Sometimes you need help, finding what you want to say from an outside source, and that's where Grammarly comes in. It doesn't fart for you, but Grammarly is more than a spelling and grammar checker. It's an all-in-one writing tool that allows you to clearly and effectively communicate your ideas. Grammarly's free and premium features can save you time and give you the confidence of knowing your writing is professional. Grammarly helps you strike the right tone. You need to go informal. You're talking to friends. Sometimes you got to get professional. What I like is Grammarly Premium's full sentence rewrites, because I can get stuck. Sometimes if a sentence isn't great, I try and correct one part of it. Oh, this is where it is. This is where it is. But no, I just need a whole jumble. I need a whole restart, and Grammarly Premium does those whole sentence rewrites I like. Get through those emails and your work quicker by keeping it concise, confident, and effective with Grammarly. Go to Grammarly.com/nodunks to sign up for a free account. And when you're ready to upgrade to Grammarly Premium, get 20% off for being our listener. That's 20% off at GRAMMARLY.com/nodunks.
All right, let's start wrapping this show up. Time for tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
I am always excited when JD has tweet of the night. You never know what you're going to get. How many tweets you're going to get.
Yeah. This time we're getting one tweet. And a shout out to, let me bring up his name, Alex Hayden. I hope I'm saying that right. He sent it in, and I think this is actually a cold open submission, which it's a rejected cold open for.
Right.
And the reason is it's one of those memes where someone is lip syncing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those. I like those, but I don't love them for cold opens. But this is Myles Turner. Friend of the show, I would like to say. He was showing off his Lego collection, and it was delightful. So I'm going to show it to you now. Okay.
These are my ladies. This is Jill. This is my lady Amy, little Susie, Brianna. You know why we call her Brianna, right? No? It's a long story. Shaniqua, Helga, Miss Kitty, Jeannie. I dream of Teresa. This is Teresa right here.
Now is Teresa, is that your
dirty girl? This spot is for my special lady, Leah. I'm gonna say that one more time. Leah. Oh yeah. That's a sweet.
That's
good.
That's a decent cold open.
Yeah, I know, but I
like
should have
it.
used it.
Great
It's
tweet,
good.
too.
Of course, it reminded me of what Skeets described as the world's weirdest pissing contest we had on the show, where Ben Golliver was showing up his Lamborghini and then the Bugatti, and then I believe this is the stuff with Camel.
Happy Ben is.
I mean, those are amazing. And then, of course, Lee got in on it with his AT-AT and another Star Wars. I think this is a battle droid, if I'm not mistaken.
Not
of
sure.
course, Trey got into it with his Thanos, and then he had Lego LeBron, and I had the pirate ship from the Lego movie. So just great stuff. And maybe I should have used it as a...
it's fine.
What are you going to do?
That Titanic one.
So
It said 10,000 pieces, right?
Yeah.
Holy.
I guess when you're tanking, you have a lot of time to put
Well,
stuff together.
yeah, he's out right now, too, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
and you can afford it. That stuff not like what's that going for? What's the Titanic Lego set going
Probably
for? Let me look.
$1,000, I would say.
Really? Ooh, that's very.
That seems steep. But
10
pieces per dollar? Is that 10 cents per brick?
Wow, Lee is I mean, according to Amazon, it's $958.99 for the expert Titanic. It looks like it might be a little bit cheaper, but anyway.
Yeah.
Wow.
Guy flew halfway across the world to see Legos. I would expect him to know his pricing.
true.
Yeah,
Does the Titanic float, or is that the sort of thing where like it comes with a huge hole in part of
I don't know.
the front?
You gotta buy the iceberg.
Yeah, iceberg's not included.
It's pretty boring to put together that one. Large triangle, all white and blue blocks.
How about the clip? Does anybody know what he was?
Yeah, I
what was
do
he
know.
lip-syncing?
It's Diedrich Bader. You may remember him from the Drew Carey show. Maybe show myself. It's from the movie Surf's Up. And he plays a penguin, and his character is showing off his surfing trophies. So, yeah.
You know, it sounded like a little bit to me. I was like, is that Jermaine?
That's what I thought too.
Clement? Is that
Jermaine Clement.
Had his voice is somewhat similar.
They actually looked sort of similar. If you know
the penguin?
No.
Oh.
Diedrich Bader and Jermaine Clement kind of look similar. Okay. But anyway, yeah.
Awesome. How's the Lego going in your house? Still popping?
Yeah.
Still clicking?
Far too much Lego. But my 9-year-old built an 18-year-old plus thing. There's a Star Wars thing. It said like expert level. He knocked it off in like about 3 hours. I was like, that's...
Kid's a genius.
No. I'm saying that was an expert level building there. That was just follow the instructions like the rest of it, you know? So did a good job.
So it's big? Like
No, it's not that big.
Oh.
No. It's kind of small. I'm like, okay.
Could you have done it though?
Maybe in 4 or 5 hours.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so Lego's still popular though.
Very popular. Yes.
Okay. Pick'em results last night. It was the Pistons Heat game. Miami was favored by 13.5. This brought to you by BetMGM. And big line. Some of us thought that's all right. Heat will cover that. No, Detroit. Scrappy bunch. So win for Tass, improving to 8-3 here in March. Nice stuff. I'm 6-5, so I'm above 500. And then Trey and Lee taking the L back in the Heat. Lee, you're 4-7. You're 1 game behind Trey, who's 5-6. So we got a race here. Still, Tass, there are a lot of games on tonight. So where are we going?
A game that's essentially for home court in the play-in tournament because 9-10 face off in the play-in tournament. That's who's facing off today. The Atlanta Hawks visiting the Charlotte Hornets. 9 visiting 10. And Charlotte Hornets are a very, very small favorite. 1.5 points. But the three of us ride in the road team and ride in the dog, riding our home team, the Atlanta Hawks. Skeets, myself, and Trey taking Atlanta plus 1.5 at Charlotte. Lee is taking the Hornets.
So Lee, what'd you do here? Did you swerve because you saw the ATLs coming through on the Slack this morning, and you're like, "Well, I'll be the one that takes Charlotte"? Or?
Well, it depends on when it comes through, and if you're dropping the kids off at school. And we had to go through carpool this morning because it was raining. So you get in last in the Slack, and you got not many choices.
Were you actually dropping the kids off, or were you taking a dump?
No, I was dropping the kids off. Yeah,
okay. Well, that's cool.
But anyway, it was a 1.5 point line. It was like, you know what? The Hornets desperate as well. They need.
Yeah.
I have no problem with their offense. Whether or not this one could be a big 140 to 137 game.
Definitely.
So.
It's in play.
Yep.
All right, so stakes are high in that Hawks-Hornets game tonight, not only for those two teams, but for us here with the Pick'em battle that we always have going every month. We'll call it there. Email in your NBA questions to nodunks@theathletic.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok @NoDunksInc. Get yourself, if you don't have one already, an Athletic subscription. Go to theathletic.com/nodunks, $1 a month for up to 6 months. That deal is still hot. And go get some No Dunks merch over at nodunks.com. Working on some new things right now, but there's some classics always available over at nodunks.com. No Breaks, our F1 podcast with Grade and Gordian, coming up later today in mere hours. No buffs tomorrow, but we'll be back here at 10 a.m. Eastern, right here in the Classic Factory to talk about, I guess, a lot of games. Whew. Stock up on energy.
It's going to be a long night.
There it is. Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, if you are watching Survivor tonight, Jeff Probst tweeted me personally, and he said, I got to turn that feature off. I don't know how. But anyways, he said that the unlikeliest couple will be bonding together tonight.
The unlikeliest couple.
One is a buff man, and another one not a buff man, so they're unlikely.
Oh, that's your guess?
No, I think it was in the video. It was in the video.
So Jonathan and...
That guy is buff.
He's very buff. Who's
somebody else.
Oh, yeah, someone like skinny like me. Romeo. I don't know. Who knows?
Lindsay, perhaps.
Okay. No. Find out tonight on Survivor.
Omar, I think.
Omar! Oh,
nice.
That's my pick to win it all. All right. Team up with Jonathan. Good stuff. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Embrace the day, people.